Hello, incredible viewers. Welcome back to our channel where we share the most extraordinary true stories that will restore your faith in miracles. Today's story is so unbelievable, so heart-stopping, that doctors are still trying to understand what happened. Before we dive into this incredible tale, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing stories, and ring that notification bell because you won't want to miss what happens next. Picture this. It's a quiet hospital room in northeastern Argentina. A 3-month-old baby named Santino, which means little saint, is peacefully drinking his bottle. His devoted Aunt Norma and Uncle Caesar watch over him with tender care. But just a few feet away lies the baby's mother, Amelia Bannon, motionless in a hospital bed. She's been trapped in a deep coma for 5 long months, her life hanging by a thread after a devastating car accident that shattered her skull and left doctors with little hope. But what happened next would shock the medical world and prove that the bond between a mother and child transcends even the boundaries of consciousness itself. Let me take you back to where this incredible journey began. November 1st, 2016, Amelia Bannon wasn't just any ordinary person. She was a dedicated police officer serving the community of Posadas in Argentina. At 29 years old, she was 5 months pregnant and looking forward to welcoming her first child. On that fateful Tuesday morning, Amelia climbed into a patrol car with 5 fellow officers. They weren't responding to an emergency, just heading to a routine police training course. Her partner, Christian Espindola, was behind the wheel. But here's where the story takes a chilling turn. The night before the accident, Amelia had experienced a vivid, terrifying dream. She dreamed of their patrol car rolling over, of metal twisting and lives hanging in the balance. When she woke up, she couldn't shake the feeling. That morning, as they prepared to leave, Amelia turned to her colleagues with a haunted expression. "I have a feeling," she said, her voice trembling slightly, "that we're going to travel, only to turn over." Her words would prove to be a terrifying premonition. At 10:30 a.m., Amelia's worst nightmare became reality. The patrol car veered off the road and crashed with devastating force. While her 5 colleagues escaped with minor injuries, Amelia bore the worst of the impact. The damage was catastrophic. Her skull was fractured in multiple places, causing dangerous blood clots to form on her brain. Emergency responders rushed her to the hospital, where doctors delivered the devastating news to her family. Amelia had slipped into a deep coma, and they held little hope she would ever wake up. But Amelia wasn't fighting this battle alone. She was carrying precious cargo, her unborn son, growing and developing despite his mother's critical condition. For weeks, doctors monitored both mother and baby, walking a tightrope between hope and despair. Then came Christmas Eve, 2016. In what can only be described as a Christmas miracle, doctors successfully delivered Amelia's baby via emergency cesarean section. Despite being born 6 weeks early, little Santino entered the world weighing a healthy 4 pounds and 16 ounces. The family chose his name carefully, Santino, meaning little saint. It was as if they knew this tiny baby would become their miracle, their beacon of hope in the darkest of times. After spending a month in the hospital's neonatal unit, Santino was finally strong enough to go home. But here's where the story becomes even more extraordinary. Amelia's brother Caesar and sister-in-law Norma made an incredible decision. They would move to Posadas to care for both Amelia and baby Santino. Every single evening, without fail, Norma would bundle up little Santino and bring him to the hospital. She would place him gently on his mother's chest, hoping against hope that somehow, some way, Amelia could feel her son's warmth and hear his tiny heartbeat. The nurses would watch with tears in their eyes as Caesar and Norma would talk to Amelia, telling her about Santino's day, how he was growing, how he needed his mama. They would place his tiny hand in hers, sing lullabies, and create precious moments of connection. For months, this routine continued. Caesar documented these visits on social media, sharing photos and videos of Santino with his comatose mother. The family refused to give up hope, even when doctors suggested it might be time to consider the worst. Then came a day in early March 2017 that would change everything. Santino was now 3 months old, and Caesar and Norma had brought him for his usual evening visit. As they settled into their routine, feeding Santino his bottle beside his mother's bed, the room fell into its familiar, peaceful quiet. But this time, something was different. In the gentle silence, broken only by the soft sounds of baby Santino drinking his milk, they heard something that made their hearts stop. Yes, yes, yes. The voice was barely a whisper, but it was unmistakably Amelia's. After 5.5 months of silence, she had spoken. Caesar later told reporters, "We heard it in the silence while we were giving Santino his bottle. A low voice saying, 'Yes, yes, yes.'" Caesar's hands were shaking as he leaned over his sister. "Amelia," he whispered urgently, "if you can understand me, stick out your tongue." And incredibly, miraculously, she did. The room erupted in tears of joy and disbelief. Caesar and Norma embraced each other and wept, hardly able to believe what they were witnessing. "It was a total revolution," Caesar later explained. "We embraced her and wept tears of joy. It revolutionized our hearts." In that magical moment, they placed Santino on his mother's chest once more, and this time, Amelia responded. She nuzzled her son, and for the first time since his birth, mother and child were truly together. Caesar, overwhelmed with emotion, documented this incredible moment and shared it with the world. The photos and videos he posted showed Amelia weak but awake, holding her precious son. The bond between them was unmistakable and absolutely beautiful. From that day forward, Amelia's recovery was nothing short of extraordinary. At first, she could only say yes or no, but gradually her vocabulary expanded. She began doing speech therapy twice a day, working particularly hard on pronouncing the letter S, which had become difficult for her. Slowly but surely, Amelia regained her ability to move her limbs, to turn her head, to sit up. Remarkably, she remembered everything from before the accident. Her life, her family, her job, everything except the crash itself, as if her mind had protected her from that trauma. When Santino celebrated his first birthday in December 2017, it was a double celebration. Not only was he a healthy, happy 1-year-old, but his mother was there to share the moment with him, awake and recovering. Even the medical professionals were astounded by Amelia's progress. Dr. Marcelo Ferreira, her neurosurgeon, admitted, "She keeps surprising us. What we're seeing defies our understanding of coma recovery." Through months of intensive therapy and sheer determination, Amelia eventually learned to walk again. In a moment that brought tears to everyone's eyes, she stood proudly beside her brother Caesar, both of them in their police uniforms, as the Argentine Police Department officially recognized her miraculous recovery. But perhaps the most touching moment of all came in early 2018, when Caesar posted photos of Amelia, now fully recovered, wearing her police uniform once again. In the pictures, she's holding 2-year-old Santino, both of them beaming with joy and love. Today, Amelia has returned to active duty as a police officer, and she enjoys every precious moment with her son Santino. Their story has inspired millions around the world and left medical professionals questioning everything they thought they knew about consciousness, maternal bonds, and the power of love. Was it coincidence that Amelia first spoke while her son was in the room? Or is there something deeper at work here? A connection between mother and child that transcends even the deepest medical trauma. Scientists may never fully understand what happened in that hospital room in Argentina, but one thing is certain: the love between a mother and her child proves stronger than the darkest coma, more powerful than the most devastating injury. Amelia's brother Caesar summed it up perfectly in a simple social media post. "Thank you all. But perhaps we should be thanking them for reminding us that miracles do happen, that love truly can conquer all, and that sometimes the smallest voice can wake us from our deepest sleep." What do you think happened in that hospital room? Do you believe in the power of maternal bonds to transcend medical explanation? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video if this incredible story touched your heart. Make sure to subscribe for more amazing true stories that will restore your faith in the extraordinary power of human connection. And remember, in a world that can sometimes feel dark, Stories like Amelia and Santino's remind us that miracles are still possible. Until next time, keep believing in the impossible.